Welcome everybody to the 40 Finance channel. My name's Jeff Beers. Today I'm looking at a small cap stock that I own, one of the few small cap plays that I'm actually into. I've held it for a long time. Turtle Beach, which is a maker of gaming headsets for PlayStation, Xbox. They also have a personal computer division. Ticker symbol is HERE, and HERE has been through a lot of ups and downs, and I have been along for the ride for most of the down part of it. But there's been some big news lately, and I want to dig in and talk about what are the prospects for Turtle Beach going forward here in 2020. As a reminder, my stock picks and projections are for entertainment purposes only. Please talk to a financial professional before you take on any risks in the stock market. However, if you do enjoy watching stock market analysis, investment ideas, and personal finance videos, then please subscribe to the channel. Thank you to everybody who's supported the channel so far. All right, so the big win right now with everything video gaming, cloud computing, etc. is obviously the health crisis that's going on, has kept people in their house, and that has led to a boom in certain industries. You've probably heard of the Zoom video conferencing and delivery services, but video games are right there on the top of the list, and the usage has gone up, and the usage has spiked ridiculously over the past 2 months. Most of this is because college campuses and regular schools are all out right now, and even though they're doing some e-learning, I can tell you as a father of 3, nobody's missing out on their video game time right now, especially with the weather in spring. I'm over here in the Midwest. Springtime weather is really hit or miss. So it only takes a stretch of a few rainy days for the video game usage in my house to pretty much go through the roof. All right, taking a look at Turtle Beach stock and where it stands today. You got a price right now of $8.49, P/E ratio of 8.15. Never quite easy to tell on P/E ratios with so much volatility in the market of how accurate they are, but great sign for Turtle Beach, at least from a fundamental standpoint. And you look at this is a 1-year chart here that goes from April 22nd to today, and Turtle Beach has sort of been just simmering, just swimming along, not a lot of changes. Obviously, when the stock market took a big blast, prices dropped all the way down into the $4 or $5 range. In fact, the 52-week range officially is $4.05 to $12.50. So standing where we are right now at $8.49, it's about $4 off the 52-week high. And this is important to know because with that low PE and a 52-week high of $12.50, and what we see going on in video games and cloud computing, this is where I'm starting to get excited about Turtle Beach, even though it's kind of one that I've had in my portfolio for a couple years and frankly sort of forgot about because it was just swimming and doing nothing. All right, flipping over to the Tip Ranks dashboard to see what the best performing analysts are talking about with Turtle Beach. And right now, because this is a small cap stock, we only have 2 of the best performers who are tracking Turtle Beach. Both of them have buy signals. Median price right now of $14.50, which is an upside of 70%. You got a high bar of 16 and a low bar of 13. So even though we're only talking about 2 analysts here, you've got a plus $6 or so potential that they're expecting over the next 12 months. All right, looking at my history with Turtle Beach, and this is a bit of an eye chart, but the bottom line is my cost basis is $10.57 currently. I was a first-time buyer way back in September of 2018. This was the sort of fortnite time period where Turtle Beach saw a huge spike. And looking back at that time, my first entry price was $24.57. So this is probably not a stock buy that I would have made today, because it was on the high side of a high trend, and lucky for me, I've learned a lot of lessons since then. And you see what sort of happens. This first 4 tranches of 25 shares between September and March, that average is $24.50, $20, $16, and $16. I mean, I was probably averaging in the neighborhood of $21 a share. We're down to $8 today, and we were as low as $4 on the 52-week range. So I kind of cast everything off to the side, and I was like, you know what, I'll keep buying in incrementally, but I obviously am going to have to buy down on this. There was a lot of short interest in Turtle Beach, understandably so. A lot of pressure on the stock from a downward scenario. Fortnite boom actually subsided over time, and the consoles are in their 3rd year or so. So really, like the demand for new headset equipment dried up, and it dried up quickly. But as that world dried up, I continued to average down, because looking at the company as a whole, I always felt really good about the prospects. So averaging down all the way to most recently when the stock market dipped, I had a couple buys in there of $6.41, $5.81, $6, and most recently $7.50. So I made a big mistake buying high on a high trend back in 2018. I've recognized that, but I still believed in the company, and I still believed in the growth of gaming going forward. Especially having a teenage son, I saw how this stuff was really kind of matriculating. And Turtle Beach is a relatively easy company to follow because it's not that complicated. So I decided that I'd go down with the ship, so to speak. I knew the company was very unlikely to go bankrupt, so I kept averaging down. And here we are today, my cost basis of $10.50. Now, the reason that I did this video today is because all of a sudden Turtle Beach is back in the news. Some of the channels that I follow that talk about Turtle Beach are like, hey, they're sold out of some stuff. The health scare has really ramped up the demand for gaming headsets as a whole. And to illustrate that a little bit, here is some data from Google Trends. So this is a 12-month chart, United States search interest over time, and the blue bar you see is Turtle Beach. And if you kind of go back, if you figure a year ago, we were looking at about April of 2019, you had that sort of search interest score of 25. We are currently at 100%. And unbelievably, that 100% peak interest is more than Q4 holiday shopping time, which is always Turtle Beach's best quarter. And then you kind of compare it to some of the other, like I would say, broad-based searches: best gaming headset, Xbox headsets, PS4 headsets, and even Turtle Beach's own model number, the Stealth 600. Turtle Beach is actually blowing all of those search terms out of the water in terms of interest. Even their specific model number, which is the purple line, is garnering more search interest than best gaming headsets, Xbox, and PS4 individually. So the good news, if you don't know what to make of this chart, and the point I'm trying to make here, is people are seeking out Turtle Beach gaming headsets, right? There's a couple queries on this trends board: best gaming headsets, Xbox gaming headsets, PS4 gaming headsets. Those are broad searches that typically indicate that a market as a whole is hot. So PS4 headsets, for example, it's where people start their search. It's where shoppers begin their journey to find out, hey, I know I want a PS4 headset. I don't know anything about it. Let's just start there. The difference is here in this way for Turtle Beach, more people are seeking out the brand than they are the broad search. So that's a pretty big indicator, and seeing that search interest go beyond the most recent Q4 holiday shopping season is very, very promising. All right, the next thing that's caught a lot of people's eyes I've noticed about Turtle Beach here lately is they've sold out of a lot of products, not only on their own website, but you see here, this is an Amazon screenshot where this thing is back in stock on May 7th. This Stealth line, this one's a Stealth 700, which is relatively new. The Stealth 600, it is one of the most popular searches available for Turtle Beach. Those are all sold out on Amazon. The top left screenshot here is from Turtle Beach's own website, where I just did PlayStation headsets and sorted by just the wireless ones, because I know my son prefers the wireless. I think we all prefer wireless, right? But he calls that out as a key differentiator, and every single PlayStation wireless headset is sold out. Now, of course, sold out is good and bad, right? Because it means demand has increased substantially, certainly more than they expected. And what we have here, though, now is every day they're sold out, there's a potential to lose sales to a competitor. What you're going to see is Amazon's going to sell a lot more of their generic type headphones that are only like $35 compared to $100 or so for Turtle Beach. In my house, we've tested them for $35, and typically they break in 6 months. The Turtle Beach side, we haven't had any problems. It's a big enough company. If you sort, you will see some issues. The most common one on the Stealth 700 here is like a connectivity issue of some kind, but we've probably owned about 3 versions of Turtle Beach headsets, and they have all worked just fine for us. All right, so what's the bottom line here on Turtle Beach? Why am I so excited? Why is this one small cap stock that might be worth a swing trade or a short-term play, something I normally don't preach on this channel? And in fact, just to be clear, I'm mostly interested in fundamentally strong companies in the tech and consumer space for the long haul. But I took a flyer on Turtle Beach several years ago on what amounted to be a crappy buy, and now I have an opportunity to come out ahead on this one just because I've held it so long, and here's why I'm excited. First point is, here they've been underperforming for quite some time. As somebody who's purchased into the stock at several declining stages, and now we're starting to settle up, it's some of the best signs that I've seen out of this stock in a long time. One of the things that we have to think about, though, with Turtle Beach is all these online sales that appear to be happening and all this search interest. Is it enough to overcome basically every retail store being closed? Now, Turtle Beach is in your Walmarts and your Targets and some of these things that are still remain open for today, but all the Best Buys, GameStops, etc., those are going to be closed. So is online and big box going to be enough to hold up the sales performance to gain from the incremental wins of online e-commerce? I think so, only because the interest has spiked so high, but it is something to consider. And that follows up with the question I asked earlier, is sold out good or bad? I think it's bad. Just to be 100% clear, this market is very demand based, and it's very much that people need a headset today for whatever reason, and they're going to make the order. Now, I was encouraged that Turtle Beach looks like, at least on Amazon, that they were coming back in early May, and I think there's plenty of time to capitalize on this market in the short term. Hopefully what we see from a sold out lost sales perspective is people buy the $25, $30 generic headphones waiting for Turtle Beach to come back online. I don't know how many folks will do that, but it's wishful thinking, I guess. For $30, you're going to get a crappy wired headset that inevitably will have a short lifespan. Maybe that turns into a Turtle Beach buyer somewhere down the road. The fourth point, which we kind of alluded to in Google Trends, is this isn't even Turtle Beach's peak season, okay? It's turning out to be their peak season, but Christmas time, far and away, is their biggest boost in sales. And this Christmas features new PlayStation console and new Xbox console. I haven't heard anything about delays despite the virus concerns in manufacturing. So you couple holiday with new platforms, which inevitably means new devices that you use with those platforms, and Turtle Beach is in a super prime position. Frankly, my take was going to be to just hold the stock through Q4, and if I didn't see any boost through Q4 to get my money back, then I was just going to sell it for a loss at the end of the year. But this recent uptick has pretty much changed everything. All right, so where do I stand on Turtle Beach right now as a stockholder? Right now I'm buying anything under $9. I'm probably going to sit back for just a little bit because I think the market is overpriced right now for all the stuff that's going on. Turtle Beach is not matching the market trends, so they are still going up a little bit every day despite the fact when there's dips in the market. So this is not an easy play, but my cost average is at $10.50. I'm targeting prices under $9, and my end goal is to collect my profits at the $14 mark. I don't know if that $14 mark is going to land prior to Q4. A lot of it's going to depend on when Turtle Beach shares their earnings reports. They are scheduled to have an earnings call in May, but technically that would cover January through March. But I'm sure that they will provide some sort of guidance on what is going on in the market today, particularly with all the signs of sold out products. So long story short, I'm trying to take my $10.50 cost basis. Hopefully I can bring that down to close to $9. And then as soon as the stock goes up to 14, I'm probably out only because I've held this much longer than I wanted to. And I want to pivot over to some of my core plays, which are typically large cap stocks in consumer and technology fields. All right, guys, what do you think about Turtle Beach? Do you see the bounce back coming like I do right now, or do you have other thoughts? Let me know in the comments. And as always, please give me a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. I'll see you on the next video.